Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Sunday today, and every Sunday I jump on and share a project with you. And today I'm doing some bunch of sneak peeks from the upcoming Stampin' Up! January to April mini catalog. There's so many amazing new products coming out January 4th. And so I thought I would share a card using the Thoughtful Expressions suite. It's actually the Thoughtful Expressions bundle, which is part of the Poetic Expressions suite. Absolutely gorgeous designer series paper, and the images in the stamps are really pretty. Hummingbirds they're very prevalent here on the West Coast, and so I actually am lucky enough to see them on occasion when they whiz by you in a bit of a blur. So I'm loving this hummingbird. Hey, Sharon. So I thought I'd share it. I'm going to make a joy fold card. It's one of the easiest fun folds to make and is one of my favorites. And so I thought I would share that with you. Hey, Pam, welcome. All right, so let me switch over. So this is the Thoughtful Expressions bundle. Again, it is a rubber stamp. So this gorgeous hummingbird and these pretty flowers, and then some really nice sentiments. We don't often have, I mean, this is perfect for, a birthday. Could be a birthday, enjoy your day, but just kind of thinking of you. Sometimes there's no words. You're in my thoughts. It's lovely sentiments, and I love the fact that they've mixed the cursive with the block font. In the dies, so the dies are absolutely amazing. Look at these label dies that you get. So you get 4 of these shape. I'm going to use that shape today. And then 4 of these more ornate, actually 5 of these more ornate shapes. Really pretty. And then, of course, the ones to cut out the images. And then a few extras. If you're like me, the little flowers, the little stems, some leaves. So lovely bundle. The designer series paper, I've only got one small piece of it here, but this is the designer series paper. Unusual color combination. I think I really like it. It's wild wheat and bubble bath. And then on the other side, there is garden green and Lost Lagoon. So really pretty paper that goes in this suite. And then the other part of the suite these are champagne iridescent dots. Great for shaker cards, but also they're big enough that you could use a glue dot on some of them, or just a little dab of glue and stick them on. So champagne, go nicely with the wild wheat, go really nicely with, boho blue that is in the suite. Misty Moonlight I've used them with. It's just really pretty. Okay. So let's get started. Like I said, I'm making a joy fold card. So I've got my card base. I'm using wild wheat. A bit of my, should watch what I'm doing here, because this was from yesterday when I did my splatter technique with the craft ink. So it's kind of hanging around. All right, so I've got a piece of cardstock that is cut. Oh, interesting. It's supposed to be, let's see. Kind of got it right. I thought I was cutting it to, yeah, no, this is right. So 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. I'm not sure what I'm thinking today. It's Sunday. So cut 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and it's scored at 2 3/4. And then you've got a piece of the designer series paper that is 2 1/2 by 4. So the card folds like that. So the big piece, the fold is on the left side. This piece of designer series paper will go on like that. And then I've got another piece, again, of wild wheat. I've embossed this using the distress tile embossing folder that's been carried over. I'm so happy. And this I cut 3 inches by 7 1/2, and I scored it at 3 3/4. So a joy fold card, let's take that off for the moment. It's 2 pieces that fit with them kind of slotted in. So when it opens up, this one opens like this, and the card base opens like this. So it's a really easy fun fold. So let's start putting our pieces together. So I've got this one again. It's scored at 5.5. And we're going to adhere our designer series paper. Wasn't sure what I was going to do today, and I wasn't sure what colors I was going to use, but this piece of designer series paper kind of called to me. I love wild wheat. And so wild wheat and bubble bath just is so pretty. I would never have thought. Okay, I've got a piece of basic white that I'm going to adhere on to the inside of my card. You could use designer series paper for this, or you can just put a piece of basic white to be on the inside of your card. You're not writing on this, so it could be designer series paper. Okay, and now we've got our other piece that we're going to work with. So again, this was cut 3 inches by 7.5 and scored at 3 3/4. It's going to fit on like that, and then emboss the front using that distress tile. So we can go ahead and I did cut a piece, and I think it's the wrong size. 3.5. So I think I need to cut this to be 3.5 inches long. So I will just take my trimmer. Yep, I had it 1/4 of an inch too long. Okay, so this piece is going to go on the inside of our small card base. Like that. And then this piece can adhere. I actually, when I embossed it, I kind of embossed too much of it. So I've got it a little extra embossing here. Now, the way I do this is I close that and I just kind of slip the two pieces, slip this side of the main card base in between the two sides of the smaller card base, and just kind of slide it in until it's roughly in the middle. And I'd like it to be a little bit down, but I may have left it just a little too long. That's okay. And then that presses on. So we've now got our front and our back, and you're basically done except for decorating. So I cut out the largest of those label shapes from Bubble Bath. It's so pretty. It's actually got some stitching on it. But I thought what I was going to do is stamp the hummingbird and then do some coloring. So I've got my tuxedo black memento. Make sure my hummingbird is inked up. Isn't he gorgeous? Just so pretty. And of course there is a die to cut that out. Oh, and then on the side, so what I was going to do is cut him out and put my sentiment here. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I want to scrap a paper just to see how this, the sentiment says, "You're in my thoughts today." All right, so let's take and see if I can get this straight. Like that. Oh, not bad. Wow, surprised myself. All right, so this is going to go on to my center, and then I will cut or color my hummingbird out. Now I grabbed a few colors. Hummingbirds are kind of different colors. They actually often have quite a red kind of breast on them. So I thought I'd do the hummingbird in wild wheat, and then I was going to go over it in a few other colors. So I'll just give him a kind of quick coat in wild wheat. If you've watched me before color, you know that the way I color with my Stampin' Blends is I actually use the light color first, and then I start going over it with the darker colors. Now this images, and you may not be able to see this, but there are some little tiny, oops, really blurry. Come on, I came up on that too fast. Some extra kind of, yeah, just outline sections that have no, they just kind of open
look like they're outlined, and so they'd be great for using, you know, the lighter colors. So I'm going to try not to go over those with any darker colors, because then it will look a bit like wings. They have the same kind of lines on the flowers, so it's kind of cool. All right. So I'm going to use, this is Old Olive. So I'm going to go add some Old Olive. You don't always have to color with the light and dark. You can kind of combine colors. So we're going to add, and I may actually go over, add in a little bit extra of the dark Old Olive. I didn't want to go too dark to start. So I've got a little bit of green in him. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark wild wheat. So you can do as much or as little as you want. Just adding color. I even grabbed some, this is the light balmy blue, because sometimes there's a bit of blue in there. And then they kind of shimmer if you've seen them. I don't know, they've got an iridescence to them, particularly their underbelly. So just adding color. And I grabbed Melon Mambo. So this is the light Melon Mambo. But their throat area is often got a kind of real red color to it. So I am going to go over that with tone it down. There we go. All right, there's my hummingbird. They are a little darker than that, I think, but maybe they are different colors. The ones I've seen tend to be a little bit darker, but that's okay. So I'm going to cut him out with this die. Like that. Just put that over top. Grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. It'll fit in the mini, which is always nice. So you could add some of the extra die cuts if you wanted to. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple with my hummingbird. Now the one thing I do want, and I'm going to add, is some Wink of Stella, because they do have a bit of shimmer to them, especially the underbelly. So I'm going to use dimensionals to pop him up. Before we do that, let's do some dimensionals on my label. Dimensionals. Thought I had gotten them wet, but now I've got another package here that has part of the backing seems to come off. Not sure what's going on. Just takes a little bit of extra fussing to get them off. Okay, so there, that's going to go on like that. And he's going to go on like that. Now I'm going to need another, because I've popped up the sentiment layer, where I've got an overhang, I need a double layer of dimensionals so it doesn't sag like that. And I've got a little piece of my dimensional. So when I have just a little piece of the dimensional sticking out that I don't want to see, just take your pick tool and kind of tuck it underneath. Okay, so that's kind of my card, but I do want to stamp something on the inside, and then I want to put some embellishments on. So I'm going to take the tuxedo black, and I'm just going to stamp this. I probably should have done this before, but I'll put that on the inside. And if you wanted to, you could color. You might want to do this before you you stick it in, because these blends, luckily I've got multiple layers here. The blends will kind of soak through. So you do want to make sure you're coloring with something underneath it so it doesn't soak into the rest of your card. But luckily I've got a few layers here, so I'm not too worried about that. Pink center. And then we'll do the leaves in light old olive. And then the last thing I want to do is put some of these iridescent dots, these champagne iridescent dots. So I'm just going to, hey, Polly, thanks, Joanne. Okay, I'm going to just put little dots of glue. If I can get them to come out in little dots. There, 1, 2, and we'll put one there. And then take the putty end of your take your pick tool and just pick up these iridescent, champagne iridescent dots. You might have to use your finger to get it off the end. And they are multiple sizes, so you can kind of play and figure out what sizes you want to use. Get one. They're all got their flat ends up, and I don't want that. I want the rounded side so I can grab it. Come on. This one is bound and determined not to be stuck onto my card. So if you do use liquid glue like I've done, waiting until it's a bit tacky makes it a little easier to stick. And it might not splodge like that one did. So if it does kind of, you got a little bit too much glue, just kind of use the end of your take your pick tool and pick it up. There. All right. So that is a joy fold card. It's such an easy, fun fold to do. And yeah, Sharon, I would have never put these colors together either. But when I saw the designer series paper, I kind of went, ooh, that's kind of pretty. So yeah, I really love how it went together. This is such a gorgeous suite of products with the designer series paper, the bundle, and the iridescent dots. It's one of the ones. So we have a January 20th. It's a little ways off yet, is my virtual launch. So if you're one of my customers or one of my team, or if you don't have a regular demonstrator and you live in Canada, you're welcome to join us in our virtual launch. We have a Facebook group for that, and you can find that link on in my Facebook group or on my page. And so this is one of the suites we're going to be featuring in our virtual launch. It is also the suite we're using for the January monthly card club. So if you are interested in the card club, you get 3 make and takes, a half a package of the designer series paper, embellishments, and some ribbon. And I do not remember what the ribbon is. Maybe there is ribbon with the suite that I haven't used, but anyway, there's some ribbon that you'll get. So you get that, and I send you a make and take or a video link to show you how to put the cards together, plus the PDF. So if you're interested in that, registration doesn't close until early January. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day and spend some time in your craft room. Happy stamping. Bye.